Hello, everyone. My name is Bronwen Sanders, and I am a Director of Admissions at NYU Stern. And for the next 40 minutes, I am here to discuss with you about the HKUST-NYU Stern MS in Global Finance program. So over the next 40 minutes, I'll walk you through the program, including the structure of the program, the global partnership behind it, the profile of the cohort, the career impact we've seen among our alumni. And really the goal is to give you a clear understanding of how the program is designed and help you determine whether it aligns with your professional goals. I will leave time at the end of the session for some Q&A. So we'll get started. The MSGF program is a partnership jointly organized by the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology and NYU Stern. This partnership stands as one of the leading joint degree programs in the global finance space. Students are taught by faculty from two top institutions, interacting with world-class faculty and students from both the East and the West. As the program is hosted by HKUST and NYU Stern and has a global module that takes place in the Middle East, professionals are learning from a mix of faculty with a knowledge of global finance markets. The MSGF program was established in 2007, and so for nearly 2 decades, it has established itself as a leading global master's program in finance. And here you'll see some recent photos from the past few years, and this really reflects the energy, diversity, and international character of the program. Since its inception, we have graduated over 700 alumni, and that these alumni are now working across 30 different countries around the world. The MSGF program is a 1-year part-time program designed for experienced working professionals. As a joint degree program, you'll earn a Master of Science in Global Finance awarded jointly by HKUST and NYU Stern. It's a fully integrated program delivered collaboratively by both institutions. You'll learn from world-class faculty from HKUST and NYU Stern, scholars and industry experts who bring academic real insight and real-world insight into the classroom. The curriculum is designed for just-in-time learning, so you can immediately apply what you're learning in the program to your professional role. The cohort encompasses 6 in-person modules across Hong Kong, New York, and Abu Dhabi, 3 strategically important global markets. The modular structure is immersive, while still designed for a busy working professional. Upon completion of all modules and the integrated project, you graduate with a joint Master of Science in Global Finance degree. So now I'm going to walk you through the schedule and the curriculum in more detail. So here you can see the full program schedule. All 6 modules, including the locations, dates, and the names of the courses for each of the modules. We enroll 1 cohort per year every November. So currently we're accepting applications for the class of 2027 starting this November 2026. As you can see here, the curriculum covers a broad range of advanced finance topics. It's continually updated to reflect what is happening and changing in the industry, including areas such as behavioral finance, AI in finance, fintech, and climate finance. A key part of the program is the integrative group presentation. You'll work on teams to solve a real-world finance challenge, applying what you've learned across the modules in a practical, collaborative way. All modules are in person and are delivered from approximately 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. each day when you are physically in a module, with some social engagements in the evening. Between modules, everyone is returning to their home country, where you will still be doing and engage in the program with about 25 hours per week of both pre-module work and post-module work. And this really helps reinforce your learning. The modules are designed for working professionals. You can fully immerse yourself in the in-person sessions and then have the flexibility between modules to balance the program with your professional responsibilities. So here I'd like to share who you can expect to meet in your cohort. In addition to our esteemed faculty, a significant part of the program is the peer learning that takes place in the program. The MSGF cohort is highly professional and global. On average, participants bring about 12 years of professional work experience to the program. Average age is typically around 35, and each cohort brings around 15 nationalities across 10 different work locations. So this level of professionalism and international diversity creates a really dynamic classroom environment where discussions are informed by real-world experiences from different markets, institutions, and perspectives. So now that you've seen who joins the program and what you'll study, I'd like to share what this has meant for some of our alumni in the program. So C-Han's story really highlights career acceleration within a global institution. When C joined the program, she was already working at HSBC in Hong Kong and a professional in global banking, but she was seeking broader international exposure. By coming into the MSGF program, she not only deepened her financial product knowledge, but she also received the dual school credibility of being an alum from two top institutions of NYU Stern and HKUST. Following the program, she was promoted to director at HSBC, and she was relocated from Hong Kong to Paris to take on a much more broader and more strategic role. She has shared with us that career development was the most immediate and tangible benefit of the program, both in terms of advancement and her ability to collaborate effectively with international teams. And Dan's story is a strong example of a strategic industry pivot. Before joining the MSGF program, he spent 10 plus years recruiting for top global banks, including Credit Suisse and Bank of America Merrill Lynch. But he wanted to really move more closer to the business. And even though he understood the finance industry, he wanted to make a pivot. So he chose the MSGF program to strengthen his technical foundation and his knowledge of the capital markets. So following the program, he transitioned into a VP of investor relations within private equity, representing the firm to global institutional investors. He's now based in Singapore and still active in the private equity secondaries investing community, and remains active in the NYU alumni Singapore community. So his story really shows how the program supports a disciplined transition, building on existing experience while adding technical depth, global exposure, and senior peer connections. Miriam from the class of 2018 was a junior fixed income portfolio manager at Zions Bank. And she looked to the MSGF program to really strengthen her global finance expertise and really gain access to a dual school alumni network. And following the program, she was promoted and obtained a job as a VP of Goldman Sachs Asset Management as a senior relationship manager. And one of the direct benefits she has spoken about is the power of the alumni network. During her interview process, she met with multiple NYU alumni and HKUST alumni, which speaks to the depth and reach of the network within global finance. And Stephen Demler from the class of 2019. Before MSGF, he spent over 12 years trading global macro derivatives at Citigroup and had a lot of multi-asset class experience. But he was looking to fill in some gaps in knowledge, particularly in the areas of corporate finance, and really wanting to broaden his global business network. So while he had deep expertise in trading, he recognized the gaps he had, and this allowed him to continue working while expanding his toolkit. And the global structure really aligned with his international experience. Today, he is the Chief Executive Officer of Talon Entertainment, really operating at the intersection of entertainment finance and private equity. His company has produced a film that has premiered at the Cannes Film Festival, and their company is also involved in major studio redevelopment. So his story really, points to how experienced professionals with additional tools can broaden their reach and how they apply their expertise. So you've seen in these stories just how the program impacts careers in different ways through pivots, promotions, global mobility, and entrepreneurship. And what underpins all of this is the strength of the MSGF community. We've graduated over 700 alumni across 30 countries, working in leading companies around the world. What makes the program especially distinctive is that you graduate with access to two global alumni networks, NYU Stern and HKUST Business School. From the first module, you're building strong relationships with your cohort through the intensive format. And these relationships often become lifelong professional networks. Beyond that, you are joining two highly respected global business communities. At Stern, we have over 110,000 alumni worldwide, and HKUST with particularly strong representation across Asia. And you also have access to career coaching and alumni programming that goes well beyond graduation. Over the next few slides, I'd like to walk through the key program logistics. And we'll start here. So the program fee for the class of 2027 starting this November is $87,500 USD. This fee includes tuition, all course materials, the accommodations for modules 1 and module 6 in Hong Kong, and all meals for the modules. Participants are expected to take care of additional expenses, including travel, for all the modules and your lodging, except for module 1 and 6 in Hong Kong, which we will cover. And here I'd like to walk you through the admissions process, which is very straightforward. Our admissions process is broken down into two steps, which is the informational stage and the application stage. As the first step in the process, we do invite you to submit a preliminary information form through our website with your resume attached. This resume will allow the committee member to really get an idea of your background and candidacy, and then we can advise you whether to move forward with the formal application. You will have an opportunity to have all your questions answered. And if the MSGF program is the right fit for you, you'll be invited to submit an online application. So interviews, once you submit a full application, interviews are by invitation only. Once you have completed and submitted your application, we will review your application, and you may be contacted for a final virtual interview within the next 2 weeks. We are rolling admissions, so once you have your interview, we are very straightforward. We'll probably be in touch with you most likely within the next 2 weeks following that. And I'd like to go through some of the admissions requirements. Applicants are expected to meet the following requirements to be considered for admission. We do look for a bachelor's degree with a strong GPA, at least 5 years of full-time work experience. Applicants with slightly less experience than 5 years, but a strong professional background will be considered on a case-by-case basis. So that's where it's important to submit the preliminary information form with your resume attached so we can give you some immediate feedback. An acceptable TOEFL result will be required for applicants whose native language is not English and who have not received a university degree from an institution where English was the medium of instruction. And finally, we look for students with strong quantitative skills, and this can be in the form of undergraduate work or professional experience. And applicants who have yet to really demonstrate sufficient quantitative experience may be required to submit a separate quantitative test or provide a GMAT score. But the GMAT GRE is generally not required on the initial application. And here you'll see, once you go to the online application, what is included. We do require a resume or CV that's updated. We have 2 essays, questions that are included. We require official transcripts, 2 professional recommendations, passport photo, TOEFL results if it applies to you, an application fee, and as I said, the GMAT GRE are generally not required on the initial application. So before we get to next steps, I'd like to let you know what you can do next. If you haven't already, I do highly suggest to encourage you to submit the preliminary information form with your resume attached. And this is really a great opportunity for the admissions committee to get a sense of your eligibility for the program. And then if you are moved forward, you may be invited for an informational call, a brief call that is purely informational with a member of our admissions team. And here also is a way to contact us. We can be reached at msgf@ust.hk or msgf@stern.nyu.edu. And just a quick reminder that our next application deadline is coming up on March 31st. And with that, I'd like to pause to see if there are any questions that I'm happy to answer. Thank you for the question. Someone asked, can I apply for the program while I'm taking a career break? Absolutely. If you meet the minimum, if you meet the requirements and you do give us a sense of your resume and background and professional career prior to taking a career break, you are certainly still eligible for applying to the program. Thank you for the question. And there's a question with regards to our Abu Dhabi location. We are pleased to let you know that the Abu Dhabi location will take place at our campus, our NYU campus in Abu Dhabi, which is an exciting part of the program. Let's see if there's other questions coming in. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for your question. Yes, the question is with regards to the preliminary information form. It takes 4 to 5 minutes to complete. It is available on our website, the preliminary information form, and there's no cost to submitting the preliminary information form. And once you submit it, you will get pretty immediate feedback within the next 2 business days. So it doesn't look like any other questions are coming through. I wanted to thank everyone for joining us today for the MSGF program. Please don't hesitate to reach out to our office with any questions. And we are so thankful for you for calling in today. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening. Bye-bye now.